At the Peabody, ladies and gentlemen, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. No, not the book, the play, the musical, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Storey is an actor. He is the man from Mars, and he is starring tonight at the Peabody at 8 p.m. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Is this based on the book?
It is based on the book, very loosely. The people who have read the book will hear some stuff that's sort of familiar, but people who don't have any contact with the book are going to have the same great time.
Right.
Is this a musical?
Not quite a musical. I do sing a little bit in it, but it's mostly a one-man comedy show. I kind of call it my one-man Cirque du Soleil.
So the book was very clinical as trying to explain relationships and why women think a certain way and why men think another way and why they have a hard time connecting.
It did.
And so you've wrapped a story around that premise?
Well, the book was, a little technical with a little bit of humor.
Right.
And we had it adapted by a professional playwright into a script.
Right.
That really captured a lot of the elements of the book that are very universal, that apply to a lot of people, and then coated it with a lot of humor and a lot of stories. And then it was given to me, and they said, make it your own. And so that's where I kind of took over, and I kind of infused my own life elements into it. I worked on the jokes. I have a history as an actor, as a stand-up comedian, so I came in with my tool set. And I have a long, a big background in performing. I've done musicals on opera, TV, film, stage, stand-up comedy, whatever. And so we try to fit as many of those things into the show as possible.
It's a one-man show?
And it's a one-man show.
So what do you do about the Venus part of it?
Well, sometimes I have to be the female in the show. Mm-hmm. And, living with one, being married to one, spending day in, day out with one, I've gotten a pretty good idea how to pull that off in a few certain situations.
Let's talk about just the memory part of it.
Okay.
How hard is it to memorize? I'm sure it's 2 hours, right? A good hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours. Mm-hmm. How do you just memorize 2 hours of a script like that?
That's a good question. It took a long time. It took many weeks, and I have experience with large roles. And my wife, God bless her, was the sounding board, because you have to have someone who loves you that deeply, who will hear you do the same thing that's 2 hours long over and over and over again.
Right.
But for me, it wasn't so much about memorizing every single word one after another many times as you would do in a play or a famous play. For me, it was finding what are the themes and the headlines of each, what we call a beat, right? Finding out what each of those topics are, memorizing the topics, and knowing that the details underneath those topics would kind of fall under themselves.
So each play is different yet the same all, right? I mean,
yes,
how
yes.
different is each play?
I would say not vastly different, but noticeably different, even within performances here. Like, this is my second time back in St. Louis, and I know if the people who came and saw me last time came and saw me again, it wouldn't be a vastly different show, but it would be a completely different night. You know?
So I would think your stand-up definitely helps out in doing something like this.
Definitely. It's my goal too as a performer to just constantly be trying to get better. So, believe it or not, St. Louis is my 200th performance. That's a very big show for us. So I've had 200 chances to hone these jokes down, tighten up the humor, make the stories stronger to be the show that it is today.
How much do you go off script totally and just start riffing?
If I've been in a city before, especially like St. Louis, or if I have to sit down in a city, I like to take the first few minutes of the show and just talk about where I am or what's going on.
Yeah.
Bismarck, North Dakota is very proud of the fact that they broke the world record in snow angels. So we got to talk about that. You know what I mean? That's got to come up. That's got to be a discussion point.
But is it? I'm playing both parts. You have to be sympathetic to both parts. You have to make fun of both sexes, right? You have to sort of be all things at all times.
Well, I think we gotta admit that when it comes down to relationships, the ladies pretty much have that one down pretty well. That's something they specialize in. That's the thing we guys kind of struggle in a little bit. So I do spend a good portion of the time talking about how myself and a lot of the other Martians out there are the ones that really do the dunderheaded stuff. So we encourage the ladies, yes, thank you, to bring the men in and let me go up there, play both parts, and break this down into some simple stuff that makes it easy to get along day to day.
But we're usually doing dumb things with other women, though. So
Eesh. And that's a whole.
That's
an act too.
Okay.
Peter Storey is an actor. One man show tonight. Is it just tonight?
It is just tonight at the Peabody.
Just tonight at the Peabody. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Have you been to the Peabody yet?
I have not. I heard it's gorgeous, and I should also let you know, if anyone's listening, if they use the code MVL, as in Mars Venus Live, it takes a discount off the ticket.
MVL.
MVL.
So you go online to get your tickets?
Yes.
Can you get it at the box office?
Yes,
And you
at
get it
the box office
Can you
and
say
online.
MVL at the box office?
Yeah.
15% off. 50%
Half
off.
Half
Holy
off the
mackerel.
tickets.
And
That's
we're
right.
giving away tickets today too, I think.
Are we
That's
giving away
right,
tickets?
too. You could
Later
even
in the
get them
show.
for free.
You will love the Peabody.
I know.
It is
It
gorgeous.
is really a beautiful structure.
I've heard that from everybody,
I'm
so
glad
I have to believe it.
They
Yeah.
saved it. All right, Peter Story. Just mentioned MVL, 50% off tickets.
Yes.
There you go. You can bring your 2 Johnny Londoff cars to get the 50%
That's
off.
right.
There you go. Peter Story. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Tonight only at the Peabody, 8 p.m. Peter Story, thanks for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
You
Thank
got
you.
it. 8:50, traffic, weather, sports. No sports. Traffic, weather.